Tasha texting already. It's 9:04.
Good
Be here,
morning,
Tasha.
Tasha. Welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of The Extra Point. Got Tasha T. Sizzle, Michigan Michael Hasso, and y'all, this isn't just any ordinary Saturday. This is a huge college football Saturday. Mike, you ready for some football?
Man, I'm ready. I'm ready for
Tasha,
this.
you ready for some football? I will take that as a yes. Well, the college football world is ready for some football, and the college football world will descend upon the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan today for a battle of the blue blood. Some iconic brands will lock horns for the first time in the regular season when the Texas Longhorns visit Ann Arbor, the big house, to face the reigning, undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champions of the world, the Michigan Wolverines. You see it.
Y'all see us. Oh, wrong side. Y'all see us.
You see us? Mike, I need you to show them what jersey you got on. What jersey you got on?
I got that Peppers jersey.
Y'all don't know nothing about that Peppers jersey. Still doing. Oh, Mike threw up the Q sign. Oh, he about to win. All right. Let's get to it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Texas fans are probably feeling pretty confident going into this matchup after they shellacked Colorado State 52-0 last week. For the University of Michigan, let's talk about that. Let's rewind before we get into today's big game, because I hadn't had a chance to get your thoughts on wax about this. Mike, I'm coming to you first. Michigan, Mike, you batting lead off this morning. Give me a letter grade for Michigan's performance last week against Fresno State.
I will give them a C+. They didn't cover spread. I like what you said. I think this was off wax of like just win on these early games, especially when we don't even know what you can bring as far as the offense.
Mm-hmm.
The run game was ugly. Offensive line couldn't get any push. As far as the defensive side, yeah, they got burnt a little bit in coverage. Overall, though, like we're sleeping on Fresno offense's sleeping on Fresno State's offensive game. They haven't been held to 10 points in like years. So like for a team to do that in general is pretty impressive. I also think that Michigan's coaching staff has been holding the offense a little bit more. So I don't think that they kind of showed everything. Orji, like you said, throwing that spike pass is a little concerning to me. We might have to open up the spread game with him a little bit more. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I gave it what did I say? C+. I'll give it a C+.
Tasha, what's your letter grade for Michigan's performance last week?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I don't even give it a plus. I give it a C. And I think I had mentioned, I said they're going to have to let Orji just become Tommy Frazier. Like, if you want, I was not impressed with.
Okay, hold on, Tasha. Before you go into that, like, y'all, this is why I love these two, because they know me. We're simpatico. Because right here on this sheet it says, Tasha, on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned with you with Michigan's quarterback situation? Go ahead.
I mean, I just wasn't impressed. And like Mike said, it's no excuse for a quarterback of his size and arm strength to be throwing the ball right into the ground. Like
intentional walks and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Like we had timeouts. We weren't with no timeouts left trying to do a game-winning drive. We had to spike it straight from center. Like, that was just unacceptable. Wasn't impressed with either of the quarterbacks, to be honest. I do think Orji gives us a better chance if they do go to a spread-style offense, which to me seems like the only way that we're going to be able to win most of these games. The defense, which is usually our bread and butter. Well, like Mike said, Fresno State wasn't just like a pushover. It wasn't like they were, North Dakota Southern or anything like that.
Right.
But the defense that we're accustomed to, even back in the day when we were just losing and just depending on the defense was defensing. Saturday, I didn't really see the same effort. I'm hoping it's true what Mike said, that they were maybe just holding back. But
right.
But that's a risky move. You can't afford to hold back. I think a lot of these schools now because there's so many teams, so many slots available in the playoffs that they're kind of relaxing a little bit more. Oh, I can still lose one and still get in. Bruh, not in the Big Ten conference. There's only 4 Power 4 conferences now. It's not 5. Right. It's only 4.
Right. And I'm glad you said that because a lot of people are still saying Power 5. It's Power 4. Pac-12 has 2 teams in it. And neither one of them are any count.
Right. Nobody wants them. You cannot just hope and pray that, okay, maybe we'll have 1 or 2 losses and the committee will still put us in based on conference alignment.
Mike, I'm going to throw it back down to you with the same question. Scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you with the small sample size of Michigan's quarterback situation?
You already know that one. Like 10 being most concerning, or
10 being most concerning.
I'm gonna go with a 10. I'm gonna go with 11.
Wow,
really? Y'all know, y'all been through it. As Michigan fans, we've been waiting for a good quarterback. You look at the past 10 years of Michigan, and we've never really had a struggle in defense. We've always had NFL caliber talent go to the NFL. We're like, man, if we only had a quarterback.
Right.
We've had really good running backs, and like, man, if we only had, like we even look at like Chad Henne, and I know like back then it was like, oh man, if we actually had a throwing quarterback with Mike Hart and Chad Henne, now we're thinking like, man, if we had a Chad Henne, like
Chad Henne was that dude. It was just Troy Smith and that Ohio State team had it rolling, and they just could not beat Ohio State. And back then, that loss was fatal.
Right.
Now, good morning, Wayne, and good to see you this morning. He says they held nothing back. Now, hold on. Let me pause for a second.
First of all, let me handle this. I know Mr. Struggle. Yeah, you may have been playing Texas A&M, but I know Mr. Struggle to look like anything on y'all game ain't up here trying to pop shit this early in the morning. We're not going to have that, Wayne. We've already conceded the fact that we are struggling and this is a down year for us, but we're not going to have that, sir. Good morning, Wayne.
Hanging on the rim is a technical foul.
Where was Wayne the whole last season? Where are you going to come?
Hold on, wait a minute. He coming back with the we won, T. We won too.
We did too.
Hey, like Tasha told me in the chat the other day about when we was talking about DJU. Hey, we ain't on 2, and we're going to get to them in just a second. Now, back to what Wayne said, and then I want to transition that into Mike finishing his point. He said Michigan held nothing back. They lost 18 players from last year. They want to be the Michigan of last year. Just enjoy the chip. Now, we've been on record of saying, hey, we playing with house money this year. Okay? Now, that right there, them Golden Domers, them got diamonds in my damn chain. So I'm going to digress. Mike, I'm a little concerned with the 11. Now, I was going off on the quarterbacks Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Anytime I seen that little green dot and y'all was on Instagram, I was trying to get on there and troll. I was very disappointed. I was disappointed in Davis Warren's arm strength when he underthrew that touchdown pass. Yeah. He looked a little shaky in the pocket. He started getting happy feet. But more concerning than the quarterback play, I think that was a direct reflection of the offensive line play. Uncharacteristic missed assignments against Fresno State, uncharacteristically unable to dominate the line of scrimmage until the fourth quarter. Donovan Edwards, I know you big game James, and you always show up in the biggest moments, but we need you now.
Right.
Brother. We need you now. We don't need you waiting those 6, 7, 8 games to get into form. Good morning, Reverend.
That's the thing. That's the thing about Edwards, and I know people, non-Michigan fans, see Edwards like, oh no, he can bust it out. People that have been watching Michigan since his first games, we knew that was a problem. His vision, like he'd be bumping into linemen and like, oh yeah, here's the hole, and then it just so happens to still be there because we had a good offensive line.
Mike, remember the opening touchdown against Washington in the national championship game?
Yes.
He ran into the back of his lineman.
He did that twice. Like, come on, man. Sometimes you just got to see it. Like, go.
Right. Sometimes you got to see it and go. I was really concerned. Now, back to something Natasha said about the defense. The defense, now, Will Johnson, you saved the day. You threw your cape on at the end of the game and saved the day. That was the first drive I ever saw 3 interceptions in one drive.
But against a team like Fresno State, we should not have had to rely on that.
That type of heroics at the end. Yeah.
That's offense. Yeah.
I think now Mike said something earlier that I hope didn't fly past people when he was talking about Fresno State's offense and Michigan's defense performance. That was their lowest point total since 2019. This was a Fresno State team that was 9-1 last year and ranked before their whole defense got injured and they kind of limped to the finish line. That was too much of a quality opponent with so many unknowns about Michigan's offense. The things that we do know is that we win the trenches, we run the ball. I want to see more of Mullins today, Tasha, Mike. I like his game a little bit more. He's a little more consistent. He ran with the type of physicality and angriness that I'm used to seeing out of a Blake Corum. Or, Tasha, let me ask you this. Are we just being some spoiled brats right now because of the success that we've had the last 2 years?
No, because we all were just like, just give us this one and we good. But you just still expect them to put a better, to Coop's point, he was right. We lost 18 players.
Right.
And we can all admit that none of us were just like, yeah, we're going to run this thing back next year.
Right.
We've all said that. They're not going to run it back. But it's just, I just think when you're playing schools that are supposed to be lesser skilled, not going to say lesser talent, lesser skilled.
Way to phrase that. Go ahead.
Look at the facilities that Michigan possesses. Schools like that should not be able to have us on the ropes to the end of the game.
Yeah. I think the spoiled thing, we're definitely spoiled. However, I will say that since being at the big boy table now we're like, oh, okay, cool. You see these Georgias, Alabamas, when they win a championship next year, they're like, oh yeah, they're a heavy favorite, or they're still ranked number 1 or 2.
Great point. Great point.
That's the caliber that Michigan's trying to get to. We don't want to just be one and done.
Great
we want to be
Auburn.
And that's what we are. Georgia lost in the SEC championship game, and they still got all this, this pub. We need to be to that level, and we're not there.
Okay, so let's and for you Texas fans, I know that me and Mike are down here in the DFW. We're gonna get to you in just a second, but damn it, y'all ain't the champions. Okay, respect the maize and blue. All right, go ahead and warm up your sandwich in the microwave. We'll get to you in just a second, but right now it's about those champions.
Oh, we definitely when Michigan. We need to get us some Michigan jumpsuits.
Okay, no, I need that recliner that's in the locker rooms is what I need. Personally,
for the fair, we definitely trolling. Let me give me a Maze jumpsuit.
Tasha, a good analogy right here. I like this one.
Right, she said y'all some sport kids who parents lost their jobs. My mama got a pension. We gonna be all right.
What do you mean we got sandwiches again?
Double income.
She's talking about some OU Boomer Sooner. Speaking of that, real quick, as a quick aside, Tasha, when you come, Mike, just get ready because Mike didn't get in the chair last year. I implore you to get in that chair this year. Tasha, I'm wearing a condom in my shorts this year when I get in that damn recliner.
Mike,
it put me upside down and all around. I felt like I was in bed with Adina Howard.
Mike, that's the second time we have been in that chair, and it has never disappointed.
Y'all, I'm wearing a condom under my boxers. When I get in that chair, I'm just letting you know I might need a. Wayne says, I warned you last season. If you don't win it now, it would be a while. And the thing is, I received that. Mm-hmm. I received that. No, because you're right. Because everything lined up for us. It was now or never last year with the type of talent that we had. Good morning,
I think it'll be soon. It can be soon. That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna leave it there. It's gonna be soon.
No, we ain't gonna leave it there because now it's time to talk about Texas. Now, Mike, Texas was a team off wax that you were high on before the season started. Nothing that happened last Saturday down there in Austin changed your mind, changed my mind about it. As a matter of fact,
it helped me out a little bit.
Go ahead.
It helped me out a little bit because what I was saying is Quinn. I can sense Quinn having a really bad game or 2 games, and I mean Michigan. He could play horrible against Will Johnson, and then just be like, oh man, and then they bust out Manning for the next game or so. Manning is by far a better quarterback to win them a national title. Wow. We saw that during the game. And of course, he had a couple of hiccups, whatever. I mean, boy hadn't played in 3 years. Like, come on now.
I get what you're saying. Ewers can kind of get them there,
Yeah.
Maybe just not be the quarterback to get them. I
Well,
He's Cade. He's Cade to the JJ. Like
I was just about to say that. Go off, Mike. I was just about to say that going from Cade to JJ was the championship elixir there. Now I'm gonna throw it to y'all because Farrah has a question. Make sure you watch our take later on this afternoon whenever she has that popping. Now she has a question: is Manning better, or is it because of Archie? Food for thought. We'll nibble on that for a minute, Tasha. Mike, what do y'all think?
Well, in this whole realm of nepotism, you never know until they actually get out there and it's time for them to show. Like Peyton got out there, Peyton didn't disappoint. When
Nope.
Eli was at Ole Miss, Eli didn't disappoint.
Nope.
So you got to get it's all about show and tell. You got to get out there and show that you're just not living off of that famous name that you have.
They're looking like the Von Erichs, though. Speaking of Texas, like the Von Erichs didn't miss. I don't care which Von Erich came into the wrestling ring; they was going to be good. Mike, your thoughts?
I think if anything, the name kind of hurts you at a certain level because it puts that bar up there. Like, okay, let's see who you really are.
Right.
LeBron or James and his family is a prime example.
Yeah.
That's a huge bar to live up to.
Yes.
Now, are we saying Bronny is a horrible player? Like, let's take away his name. Let's go through the normal process. Oh, yeah, he's a decent player. Right?
Well, decent don't get you an NBA contract.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like,
Decent don't get you an NBA contract.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, Manning lived up to that, in my opinion, playing against, it was a subpar team. But I'm talking about, like, mechanics, being able to, I'm going to give a shout out to Romo, being able to Romo it out in the back and just be like, bam, like off your back. Like, that stuff you just can't teach.
Right, and you're going to need to do that against those SEC front fours and front seven.
Right. He looked impressive to me. So
okay, so follow up. So why has he not played the last 3 years, Tasha?
He got outplayed when it was time for him to play.
Oh, bang, 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 bang. Shots fired. I think that I totally agree with what Tasha and what Mike said specifically about the him being the one that can get them over the championship hump. That's why I'm glad he's not the starter today. At quarterback, there's something that we call a je ne sais quoi, if you will. Cade McNamara did not have that. He was fundamentally sound. He was able to do what Michigan needed him to do in that style of offense when it's not predicated on the quarterback. But when JJ came in with just perfect example in the Rose Bowl. They do the halfback toss back to the quarterback. Donovan Edwards threw it in the stands. JJ caught that lateral like OBJ and got that ball down the field to Wilson in a play that could have totally changed the trajectory of that game if he don't corral that ball and return that ball over. Little things, that 4th and 2 being unflappable, that final drive against Alabama, just being what he did in the shoe in 2023. Airing that thing out against Ohio State. I think Archie has the potential to be that one. Time will tell. Now, we knew this was coming. Shouts out to Soul on Sports. Make sure y'all check out Against the Grain as well. Sports family in the house. He says, hook him. He's a Texas fan. I know he's feeling confident. But let me tell you something. Ain't no Kenneth Gans. Ain't no Mason Grahams in the Big 12. Okay, ain't no Mason Grahams on Colorado State. You know what I'm saying? That body. Do you remember Michael Penix coming out of the Houston Stadium?
yeah, he was all like,
Yeah,
dang it, my back.
Right, my neck, my back,
My neck and my back.
right there. My neck and my je ne sais quoi, the Saturday word of the day. You're right, like PB's Playhouse. Every time we say that,
you gotta clap when you say je ne sais quoi.
All right, now
That means I don't know. He has a certain je ne sais quoi.
yeah, that's something that
I don't know. I don't understand. But
Let's go with the say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Michael, I'm calling you by your biblicals because this is real this time. Yeah, this is the real deal. Michael James, how do we get an A today? If last week was a C and a C plus, how do we get an A today?
offensive line starts with you. We got to see what we have at quarterback, kind of like to your point. Like, give them some time to see what we can do. Is this a rebuilding year for Michigan? I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, you take away, like they said, 20-plus players. You take away our head coach. You take away our strength and conditioning coach, who was the best in the nation. You take away our defensive coordinator. You take away majority of your team, you're going to be rebuilding.
Right,
Now,
and let's not forget the whole starting offensive line.
And shouts out to Harbaugh, Pete Carroll Jr. If you know, you know.
Stop it, Mike.
Now, us as Michigan fans, we're also saying, like, now, does that mean that you just lose every single game? No.
No.
I think we can still battle with the top ranked team. So,
we can battle today.
I mean, so, and a good example is I was watching the McKinney Lions last night, and they weren't actually favored to win because they have a new quarterback, new coach, kind of similar scheme to Michigan. And I was like, man, and you could definitely tell they did some coaching last week because that whole offense just changed completely. And then they ended up winning by 20. The defense stood up. I think if you still play Michigan ball, and what I mean is establish the run early, punch them in the mouth, stop trying to get these touchdowns on your first series, your first drive. That's not what Michigan does.
Cook, Mike, you're cooking.
With second half team, we know that.
Right, punch them in the mouth, wear them out.
Yes.
Texas is not going to be able to run the ball. We have to be able to, on defense, stop their run, make them pass the ball. Will Johnson's going to do what he does.
Yes, he is.
We have to give I think they're sleeping on our secondary, to be honest, and I think there's a lot of baiting. I think our secondary does a lot of chess games, and so I'm excited to see what they could do. I think the nation is sleeping on our secondary right now because they're saying, oh, Texas wide receivers, you only have Will Johnson, he's going to get worn out, blah, blah. And I'm like, y'all are sleeping on some of these top talents coming through.
I'm going to tell you right now, the buff's going to be out, baby. Y'all know what that means. That's what you call them Cartiers up there.
When you see if you're seeing the Cartiers on the sideline, if you're seeing the club pose on the sideline, it's a wrap for you, Texas. Now, Mr. Glenn, Mr. Soul on Sports, he's a Texas guy. He says it's going to be a competitive game, but Horns win by 10. Now, something tells me if we were watching against the Grain Sports right now, you wouldn't be saying it was going to be a competitive game. You know in your heart of hearts that you think y'all about to whoop our ass and send us on up the road. But let me tell you something, sir. Let me tell you something. Mason Graham. If the country doesn't know who Mason Graham is, if y'all know who Mason Graham is by 2:30 Central Time here in Texas, then Texas has lost that game. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Because to Mike's point, their strength is in their speed and athleticism on the outside. To Tasha's point, we have the dogs to match up with them on the secondary, but not if we're giving them 5, 6, 7 seconds to run routes. Like
one thing Texas has is that speed.
But to Tasha's point, something that she coined so eloquently a few weeks ago, if there's one thing that we're going to do in A squared is what?
What did I say?
Play some defense. Oh, my God.
Play some defense. I remember that one.
Right. We go. Tasha, that was a bar. That was a bar.
Hey, y'all know I live a carefree lifestyle down here.
Yes.
One more thing. Never in life did I think that I would be doing this, but it has to be done today. I've never done this in my life because y'all know I always rooted.
Get him, Mike. Okay,
always rooted for Texas. And my cousin is an OU grad. I always rooted for Texas.
Good morning, Christina. Hey, we need your love and support today. I know you down there in Georgia, but we need you to put on the Michigan socks that Michael probably got you for Christmas 3 years in a row.
Yeah. She already sent me a picture because my dad sends her Longhorn stuff all the time.
Oh my God, Papa Hasso is a Longhorns fan. Is he coming to?
Yeah, half of my family Longhorns. Yeah.
Papa Hasso, we're gonna send you a care package, okay, honey? It's gonna have some amazing blue attire and things in there. Little trinkets for you, Papa Hasso.
Yes, and I'm gonna let you hold this until the game. I'm gonna need that back for Thanksgiving weekend. But I'm gonna let you hold
drop it though. You know those Longhorns like to fumble stuff, so don't drop it.
Mike. Now y'all got me ready and fired up for this game. Now, everybody with a ring light and a microphone and a webcam went on their platform the last 6-7 days and told us how Michigan was going to get their natural asses whooped. We seen it on Sports Center, on First Take, on Get Up, on Fox Sports, on First Take, Second Take, Our Take, Third Take, on Against the Grain. Hook 'em. Today. Why the Michigan hate? Well, you know what, Farrah? This is for you. This is for you and everybody who think like you, okay? All right? Let me just give y'all a little reminder before we get this game started, since there's so much Michigan disrespect. Are you listening, Vegas? BetMGM with your 7-point spread? Are all y'all listening?
Down now. It is down now. It's at 6.5.
Okay, so it continues. They dropped a whole point in the last 2 days. She says she has a Texas shirt on right now. Well, use that to wash your car. It's a pretty day out here in Texas. Use that to wash your car.
Wipe your feet on it.
Tasha, Mike, let's remind the people, because I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but a lot of people may not have forgotten this, all right? You're looking at a Michigan team that has not lost a football game since December 31st, 2022. Let that sizzle in your spirit for a second. Michigan hadn't lost a football game since December 31st, 2022. I'm old enough to remember all of the national pundits, all of the ring light bearers, all of the web cameras, all of the podcasters telling us that Michigan had no shot to go into Happy Valley and beat Penn State on the road without Jim Harbaugh. I'm old enough to remember in November 2023 when they said that Michigan had no shot to go up to the shoe without Blake Corum and beat C.J. Stroud and Marvin Harrison Jr. Donovan Edwards on line one. I'm old enough to remember November 2022 when they said that Michigan is going to suffer their 10th, 11th straight loss to Ohio State. If I recall, Hassan Haskins ran for 5 touchdowns and Aiden Hutchinson looked like the second coming of Lawrence Taylor that game. I'm also old enough to remember when last November they said that there's no way in hell Michigan was going to beat C.J. Stroud and Marvin Harrison Jr. again with no Coach Harbaugh. How did that work out? I'm also old enough to remember when all of y'all out there was putting memes in our chat and blowing us up on social media with those pictures of Michigan being scared of Alabama during that college football playoff show. Remember,
and I got one more for you. We're also old enough to remember that when the Connor Stallions scandal happened and he got fired, people were saying, are they going to be able to win now that Connor Stallion's not on that sideline stealing signs anymore?
So I'm old enough to remember. Good point, Tasha. I'm old enough to remember all of that. I'm old enough to remember people saying, well, they haven't faced an offense like Washington. They got a first-round pick quarterback and 3 first-round pick receivers. I remember those conversations. Mike, what we'll do? What we'll do to him?
He locked him up.
So in the famous words of Jay-Z, yeah, we're 6.5-point underdog. Bet everything you're worth, you lose your tie and your shirt. Go blue. We're gonna just leave that right there and let that sizzle in your spirit for a minute before y'all think y'all gonna just run up on us and disrespect the blue here. You're looking at a team that they've been basically the modern day Georgia the last 3 years. Let's just get that clear before we go any further. Win, lose, or draw today, we ain't eliminated. Y'all asses gonna have to see us in January. You hear me? All hearts and minds is clear. Can we release the church? Can we say amen?
Amen.
Amen. Now, speaking of praying, you see it. You see it. You see the Jordan brand right there above the breastplate on Michigan Michael Hasso. You see it. We ain't playing no games with y'all today. Hell, y'all think this is. All right, let me digress. Speaking of prayers, let's give a benediction and a roundtable prayer to the ACC right now. They done had a rough couple of weeks. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna start with you, Tasha. Mike, let this sizzle in your spirit for a minute. Tasha T. Sizzle, which fan base is in more shambles right now? Who has the darker path down the tunnel? Clemson fans or Florida State fans? For sure.
Them people down there in Leon/Keon County, them noses down, bizad. Especially for a team that last season had so much promise and had all that to back it up. We finna lead the ACC. Y'all gonna pay us. Now it's looking like, please keep us in this ACC.
Please listen to my demo. Please.
Yeah, here go my demo tape. A tape, not a CD. Here's my tape. Play my tape. They done. They through booking. Oh my God, the defense is bad. The offense is bad. The quarterback is bad. And they just got all this money to expand that stadium. They're missing half of the stadium now for seating it wasn't even full, and people started leaving like the third quarter at the last game.
It looked like TSU's home game last week in the third
Right.
quarter.
Right. If they don't start, I can't think of the kid's name. I think he's a sophomore. They need to pull DJ and put this kid in.
Oh, they were telling we want Brock in the second quarter.
That's who they need to put in there. I'm sorry, DJ. Thank you for your services. You can sit back. It's not happening in Tallahassee. It's not happening. I see, even though I think Dabo Luther the King is shooting himself in the foot and letting his pride get in the way of his school actually being able to be competitive, but they can be competitive. I don't see it in Florida State at all.
Mike, which fan base is in more shambles right now? Clemson's or Florida State's? Looking into the future.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Florida State, I think especially because you kind of like what we've been saying, the whole thing with Jerry Jones, like, okay, well, if you're going to want smoke and you're going to put your name out there, then don't be surprised when you get smoked.
Well, wait a minute, how Jerry catching strays this morning?
Why? Exactly what I've been saying. So Florida State's the same thing. Last season, you try to say like, oh no, they left us out. We would have did some damage, and then you get blown out by Georgia.
Yeah.
No, our starters didn't really play. Come on, stop playing. We're literally
Georgia Tech.
Even with your starters, you would have got blown out.
No, I don't think they would have got blown out. Georgia still would have won. They wouldn't have got blown out. What was it, 63 to -4?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that bad, but I'm saying blown out is like 20 points, and they would have lost by 20 points for sure.
Yeah, and Georgia was pissed off for greatness after getting left out with one loss. So, they were going to make a statement of their own. Y'all, I had a dream.
But like the Florida State faithful said, don't be mad at us. Y'all should have won. Florida State did what they needed to do. The committee just said without Jordan Travis that they didn't think that they would be a competitive team. So, which
is the great point, because I think that they would have gotten in had Jordan Travis played. Hell, where's he now? Does he have any eligibility left? They let the players play until they're 30 now.
I know the Jets have him on injured reserve because his leg is not healing, because that was a bad break.
It was. It really was. It was.
But they're kind of like us. But we still had something to cushion our blow. They didn't. Their cupboards are bare.
Remember last week when I said the Florida State ain't out of the playoff race? Just
lied.
delete that. Now, no, a lie's intentional. Okay, I didn't lie. I just misspoke and spoke too soon.
I didn't say nothing. I was just like,
damn it.
But who loses to Boston College? Doug Flutie ain't there no more.
Who loses to Boston College, man? Come on. Now let's take the flip side of that. Which fan base do you think should be most encouraged for the rest of the season? Miami Hurricanes fans or Tennessee Vols fans? Tasha, I'm gonna start with you. Both of their quarterbacks were phenomenal last week.
That's a tough one, because even though the Polynesian Prince,
yes, Nico,
fantastic, even though they were playing against UTC, so you don't really know.
Right, and T.O. wasn't out there.
You're right. Miami actually had a real opponent, but Florida, because I picked Florida. Florida looked garbage.
I picked Florida too, and I had a rough start to the season. That was an ad. Look at Mike down there like I didn't.
Florida looked terrible.
Or did Miami make them look terrible?
I'm gonna say Miami made them look terrible.
Yeah, they looking very Michael Irvin, early 90s, late 80s Miami right now with
minus the Perico. But the thing is, Miami tends to have a decent start like this, and then they falter towards the end. Tennessee has always remained Tennessee, but they, like you said last week, they got a tough schedule ahead of them in the toughest conference. Miami has the easiest path, or should have the easiest path.
Especially with Clemson and Notre Dame, and Florida State looking like trash.
Right. So the fan base that should be most excited is Miami, because this should be an easy season or easy conference schedule or whatever for them.
Mike, are you ready to take your victory lap? We're having Miami as a first-round bye in the playoffs this year.
No, I'm gonna wait till the end. They're doing what I thought that they were gonna be doing. I really did think that they were gonna come back. It's been a while if we think about it. Like you said, it's been a while since we had a good Miami team. Right. I think it's just due. They have a great fan base, and when I say great, I mean like energetic and crazy.
Right.
And they have the talent. I love when was it them? Yeah, it was when they were talking to the recruits from the sideline, like, don't stay here, we run Florida. I was like, man,
the Florida staff was pushing them out of the way, trying to keep them away from the recruits.
Now that's huge when it comes to like the younger, like you saw them dabbing them up and stuff like that. I'm like, man, they about to run this for the next 10 years, that state at least. So,
Mike, do you remember what happened the 2 years ago when Michigan took those Ohio State recruits?
Yeah.
Game.
And like, the end of the game, be like done. Like
they like, so can I talk to you over here in the corner? My mom and daddy want to talk to you real quick.
Let me holler at you.
Well, hey, when they hit you with the 2 fingers, it's always bad news. Like,
come here. Hey.
Let me holler at you. Okay. But good job by you, Mike, on that call. I did not see that coming. All right. Now, we're gonna pick the game here in just a minute, but I want to transition into the NFL because just when we think that other sports are getting some shine, the WNBA doing a little something, the Olympics was doing a little something, college football had some big games last week, got the big game at high noon up in Ann Arbor, the NFL just comes back and just shuts everything down. Like, they ended the season, I'll call it the greatest reality show in the history of television. They ended the season last year with a spectacular overtime game in the Super Bowl. They kick off the new season with a game that came down to a big toe, literally a big toe. Kansas City narrowly escapes Baltimore once again in a game that looked eerily similar to the AFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson was in MVP form. Great pickup by you, by the way, Mike, and your fantasy team. Had 400 yards of offense his damn self, okay? 400 yards of offense. Patrick Mahomes didn't have his fastball Thursday night, but Kansas City still won. Should that make other teams be extremely nervous, Tasha?
For Baltimore or Kansas City?
For Kansas City, not having their best stuff and still beating Baltimore.
No, because we kind of all agreed that it's not necessarily that, Baltimore lost the game, obviously, but it's little key plays. Lamar needs, what do we say? That's the reason why they did not go to the Super Bowl last year. It's certain plays and instances that Lamar needs to be Lamar. You missed those. I was yelling because I did thought that it was Zay Flowers until they showed the replay, and I'm like, oh my God, how could you overthrow him? Flowers was here, the ball was here. He was wide open in the back of that end zone. And the play
How do you get that open in an NFL game?
And the play before that, when he got his tight end almost hemmed up. Another, was it Flowers again, too? That was it.
That was likely.
So then when you do make the connecting play, and I do agree with Patrick Mahomes, because the first thing I said, damn if he would have had on white shoes. And that's what Patrick Mahomes was saying. But that loss, as much as I hate to say it, because y'all know I'm going ABOB at all times, Lamar lost that game.
Mike, do you agree? Is this one on Lamar?
Yeah, I think this is on Lamar. He choked. And I think what we've been saying is, like, he needs to show up on these big games. Okay, we got you everything you wanted. Now we got you this power back, who's top 5 back right now in the season. Now
who they really didn't even use in the fourth quarter.
I was waiting for somebody to go there. Keep going, Mike.
But I was waiting on that. Where you're trying to, because you had to manage the clock, you didn't have any timeouts. I get it on that last drive, not putting him in and running the ball. But that whole fourth quarter, they should have utilized the king a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Multiple things concern me. One, to answer your question, I am concerned if I'm the rest of the league, especially looking at the Chiefs. Okay, cool. You don't really have this high-powered offense or defense. You have this opponent who's a Super Bowl candidate, contender at least.
Yeah.
And then you win the game. Let's say hypothetically, the Ravens do take it to overtime and they end up winning by 30.
Oh no, Harbaugh was still doing the 2. Harbaugh was like,
Harbaugh said he was going for 2, baby. When
they win by 2, right?
Harbaugh said 2 immediately.
They win by 1. So you take that into consideration. You're still thinking like, man, these Chiefs won't go away.
Right.
On top of that, you have the whole thing that we've been saying to where Lamar just chokes and he needs to have like his moment of postseason, these big games. Man, So on the side, I'm always like conspiracy, man. This is scripted, blah, blah. We saw how connected he was with his receiving core, Lamar.
From the opening drive.
Yeah. I'm talking about like boom, darts, boom, likely, boom. Who's likely, man? Well, this dude over here.
And Zay was getting plenty of
Mark Andrews on the side, and he's all tired, but you got likely on the side. It was just like phenomenal. And then you come down to the last drive, and you have 3 open like touchdowns, and you're just like, oh, never mind. I'm like, what you doing?
Right. Like, what are you doing? And if you don't see Ghost and you zip that ball in there when you first saw him, I think he has a little more room to drag that other toe. I think it was that little hitch before he fired that.
He doesn't really do that. Like, he usually pulls the trigger. So I'm like, what are you doing?
Is Mahomes in his head? And I'm asking, this is not even a setup.
I don't necessarily think it's Mahomes because Lamar has done this in other games as well.
He did it against the Titans in 2019.
Right. So I think Lamar's in Lamar's head, and I definitely think he's capable of doing it. Like, come on, it's Lamar Jackson. He's definitely capable of winning and performing at a high level, but it's something about when it gets down to the crunch time, he pulls a Dak, he pulls a Cowboy.
And I can't dispute that because Dak has put plenty of film out there to support your statement on that. I want to go back to a name you brought up earlier, Tommy Frazier. He went Tommy Frazier mode for the Gen Zs and millennials out there to remember the 95 Nebraska team, where it was Tommy Frazier and the Dreamettes. And he single-handedly sent them to a national title whoop in Florida. Lamar. Now, Tasha said, I would have been better. I would have had a better feeling about the Ravens if Tasha would have said that it was Mahomes in his head. Because you can actually get to the Super Bowl and maybe not face Mahomes if they get knocked off by somebody else. If it's in your own head, that means that regardless of opponent, you might fool around and jack the game off. No pun intended. In the waning moments, you had the game. And now, Mike, let me ask you this before we go on to your team. Oh, my God. Woo, Philly. Jeez. All right. Let me ask you this, Mike. Last year, during the AFC Championship game, you sent a 3-word text to the chat in all caps. It was run.
Run the ball.
Why did they stop running with Henry in the second half?
Man, the same reason why they didn't in the AFC Championship game.
Thank you. It was almost like it was the same damn play sheet.
This makes me think scripted. Like I normally dismiss y'all's conspiracy theories when it comes to that, especially you, Mike. But when you do it again, what do you like? What did you bring him over for? If you weren't going to raid the first drive, he plowing through people, going scoring a touchdown, and then you basically just take him out of the playbook. Mike, what's going on with the thought process there?
I have no idea. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like we'll see him again, like we'll get him next time, or rather lose now. But it's like, why you want to lose this game? Like, I don't know why. I don't get those moments. I have no idea.
You could be going to Arrowhead because of this, and for the AFC Championship game. Although Kansas City did come up to Baltimore, whoop y'all asses last time. It was just a spectacular game. Now let's go to last night. Brazil was treated to a fantastic game between Philly and Green Bay. Great game, good offense, good Friday Night Lights stuff. Y'all, Saquon Barkley out here looking like Tiki Barber before he retired, like running, receiving, big plays, goal line. He was everywhere. I'm sick of Saquon. All right, I'm sick of him already. Damn, I wish I would have drafted him on my fantasy team.
I know he was sitting right there.
He was sitting right there, Tasha.
And I screwed up. We'll talk about that later.
Damn. His ass. Woo! Mike, let's start with you, Tasha, because let's let Mike gloat a little bit because his Eagles looking like Super Bowl contenders last night. Tasha, was Saquon the missing piece to a Super Bowl?
Not with that offensive line and that center. Not how you gonna snap the ball when and did y'all see Jalen's face when he snapped it? He was like, I said, what in the Keystone Cops is going on here?
As a Cowboys fan, I'm worried.
But would have had Saquon last year, even with Hurts being hurt. They would have been
AJ, Saquon, Devontae got off in the fourth quarter because Dallas Goedert looking healthy, at least for the first month of the season before he check out and get on that gurney.
But
the defense is looking a little shaky though.
the offense is kind of giving me a little. Hurts did say that he had been working with him because they knew, Kelsey was going to retire and everything, getting that rapport. They need to get back. If they fix those little things, and like I said, the defense get a little more oomph. But again, I think a lot of that, the field, they said, because that's actually a soccer field down there.
Right. The field was terrible.
It's because you saw in the beginning of the game, you saw a lot of players just slipping and sliding.
Right.
But by the end, they were just like, hey, we're just going to go for what we know. I think, no, Philly's going to be okay. I think Philly looks real good, though. Mike,
are you ready to have a ticker tape parade?
You know me, I ain't going to try to talk about that right now. But, they are – I do have them in the Super Bowl for sure.
We'll get to that in just a moment. But
it wasn't necessarily because Saquon at home, that's how he feels at home. Went to Penn State, like he ran like he did at Penn State, which was angry, and he wanted to pretend like his family's in the crowd because they were, and that's how he ran. So it's like, imagine like that's how he feels at home. I love those jerseys, by the way. I like the whole black and white. And
one question about the uniforms. Was that white on their, like, when I was looking at it, it seemed like their pants were like black with some white on it, or was that chalk from the?
No, it looked like something. It looked like I saw that too with AJ Brown when they was doing close-ups of him. It looked like it was some like it was mesh with white.
I liked it.
Designed,
yeah, that was clean.
So yeah, I was more impressed by the defensive, because we were talking about offseason, additions. I was like, man, they keep adding defensive schemes in there and players. I really like seeing the cornerback that we drafted, 22nd, Mitchell. He was making a lot of good plays. So I like to see all those defense, because to me, it's not really, I think our offense is going to offense, right? It's more of the defense. Like, are you going to be able to stop? Are you going to be able to stop the Ravens, or are you going to be able to stop the Chiefs when it comes down to the moment? It's going to come down to the defense. So,
we all say that defense wins the games. We've been saying that, even though it's been kind of proven that offense has been kind of tinkering with it a little bit. But if you don't have a strong defensive front or stance against some of these high potent offensive teams, you're done.
Right. I agree. Now let's get into some of our predictions. Let's pick some division winners, y'all, so we can put some stuff on wax. Let's start in the AFC South. I'm a Titans fan, but I got the Texans. Does everybody agree?
No, I got the Titans.
My brother. Hey, my brother.
Yeah.
That makes up for you picking Ohio State last week. All right, AFC North. Still going with them Ravens?
I
am too.
Yeah.
All right. AFC West, Kansas City Invitational. All right, let's move on. AFC East, this should be interesting. I'm going with the Dolphins on this. Tasha, who you got? Aaron Rodgers, that's what she got.
That's a lie.
That's
you say it, Tasha.
No, I want to. Man, I want to go Buffalo. I want to go the Fins. I don't know.
Baby, the Fighting Tours.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go with Miami. I think that's peer pressure. I was
all right.
I got the Jets.
Oh, you going with old Achilles rod? Okay, all right.
Yep.
Let's go with the NFC South. I'm gonna take them Dirty Birds this year to knock off Tampa Bay. The streak ends this year. I'm going with the Dirty Birds. Mike, who you got?
Man, that's tough. Yeah, I'll agree. I got Atlanta.
Tasha?
I got Tampa because I ain't trusting no damn a Kirk and a Cousins.
So you ain't got no cousins named Kirk. What'd you say? Kirk will be like, do you like that, Tasha? Do you like that?
I don't even. Hey, you don't have to care about Kirk though. Look their backup. Come on now.
That's your boy. But
I don't think they're going to pull Kirk. If I'm paying you that much money, I don't give a damn if I got to wheel you out there on one of them scooters where you prop your leg up. You gonna get out there and throw that ball for that money.
Bijan is gonna keep that heat off his ass this year. I think he ain't gonna have to.
I think Kyle Pitts has a good season too.
Let me guess. He's on one of your fantasy teams, ain't he?
Maybe.
All right. Okay. NFC North. I'm gonna go with them Lions. Row. Yeah. Everybody agree there? All right.
One pride.
NFC West. Let me just start here because Tasha gonna call this shade. but I'm going with Matthew Stafford and Hall and Oates on the outside. Mr. Puka Nakua and Cooper Kupp. I'm going
We
with Hall
got
and
our
Oates.
players. We going to the Super Bowl. I'm saying it now. We got
You have
our
internal issues.
our
It's gonna be
players. I always
okay.
said it. I said if
Hey,
we
Mike, you was in cadence on there. I see you.
we would be first round playoff exits, but we got our
Hold on. Wait a minute. Tasha, why we trying to slip that in on the hook? So wait a minute. Hold on.
playoff.
Now, Mike, she just said that she got her players. So is it still a first round playoff exit, Tasha?
No, I said without them.
Okay,
we would
okay.
be.
Oh, okay, I missed that
Okay,
part.
because I was like, wait a minute. They just slawed in. Mike, I'm going with the Rams. Who you got?
Yeah, I got the Rams too.
Y'all some hating ass.
Okay, we'll see who's hating in a second. NFC East.
Philly.
Hold up. We making noise. Hold up.
Fly, Eagle, fly.
Hold up. Hold up. Al. Jerry, gonna get it done. First team in 20 years to go back-to-back in the division. Although Philly got smoked. Philly got a Philly blunt for that ass. They got smoked. I'm not gonna disrespect them Eagles. A.J. Brown. Saquon Barkley. My. What a duo. Oh, let's go. Oh,
And
no.
you keep leaving out the Heisman Trophy winner.
Smith made crucial catches to bleed out that clock last night. I ain't sleeping on Devontae Twig Newton. I ain't sleeping on Twig Newton.
No, stop. How do you exit this show?
Oh, you ain't gonna exit. Super Bowl matchup. Let me go first because mine is always wrong. All right, I don't have either team in it either year.
You said yours is always wrong.
Mine is always wrong because I do it with my heart. This time I'm going with my head, y'all. I think I got it this year, y'all. I got the Detroit Lions make their first Super Bowl and get waxed by the GOAT. No, he ain't the GOAT. We're gonna call him the Lamb.
Wait, what'd you say?
Wrong.
We're gonna get waxed by the Lamb. We're gonna call him the Lamb because he ain't no GOAT yet. We're gonna call him the Lamb. The Lamb known as Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he gets 3 in a row, and that's what it's gonna be. Tasha, who's your Super Bowl matchup? San Francisco versus who?
Anybody.
Okay, so she's saying everybody. Anybody.
Last 2 seasons, and what happened?
Y'all one more away from being 4 Falls of Buffalo. You know that, right?
Right. Buffalo West.
Mike.
Eagles West.
I hate when she tells the truth about her team. It takes all the fun out of it for me. Mike, who you got?
I got the Eagles versus the Chiefs in a rematch.
Now that was a great
I'm
Super
torn
Bowl
between
too.
that or the Ravens and having like a bird war or something.
Lamar can't
I mean,
do
I
it.
did pick the Ravens, so I would say 49ers and Ravens because I did say the Ravens was going to be my AFC champion. I said that earlier.
If you let the king wear his crown, you're gonna be there in January. But if you turning them into a role player,
He go from a prince to a pauper.
right?
Dang.
Lamar Jackson ran the ball 16 times. Derrick Henry ran the ball 13 times. You trying to get your quarterback killed?
And y'all got a running back. Y'all said y'all wanted a running back. You got one. Let him run, and he has proven that he can do what? Run.
What in the entire F were y'all thinking? This is early in the seasons where you use him against a game like he's had the whole offseason, didn't play in the preseason. What you? He's standing on the sideline like me. I digress. So we got the Chiefs, we got the 49ers, and we got the Eagles as Super Bowl champions, okay? Is that what we got?
Yeah.
All right. MVP, Mahomes. Who's next?
Man, the way
I ain't
Saquon's
thought
playing, I
about
got
it.
Saquon.
He's leading the pack now. Tasha, we'll give you a couple of weeks. We'll let you get a month's worth of action in before you pick yours because she's from
It's
the
too
Southern
early.
State. You got to show me that. It's just a preseason prediction, but I'm just saying Mahomes because Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, he was on my bench. I was like, wait, hold up a second.
Don't
Yeah,
ever let that happen to you again.
That
Don't ever.
4.2 is proven to be effective.
The last thing on God's green earth that Patrick Mahomes needs is another Tyreek Hill like speedster busting the seams wide open. My God. Now, Mike, I'm looking down here. This is producer Mike I'm talking to. I'm looking down here, and I can't believe you done got this graph up here when I lost every game last week. So, but we're going to put it up here anyway. I'm sick of this, y'all. I'm tired. Look at that 0-3.
Why do you always?
Consistency is key. All right. You can't say I ain't consistent. All right. Now, look.
Why do you
your heart. Come on, man.
lose?
I shouldn't have listened to y'all and taking Brian Kelly in that damn game when he lose all his openers. That was my fault. All right. That was my fault. All right. Mike, you didn't tell me you was going to put this up here. Why the 0%? You didn't have to put the percentile up there. This is fuckery.
That's what it is. I don't know.
Okay. Well, watch me go 5 for 5.
All right,
like a fight on the football this week. We're going to start in Ann Arbor, Michigan versus the Longhorns. The fighting Matthew McConaughey's. The fighting smoke an 8-ball on the hood of your car before game day. The fighting Bebo's about to get that ass whooped by the Wolverines. I got the Wolverines in an upset. Tasha, who you got?
I'm Vamos Azulin.
Yes. Mike,
Azul.
Mike, with your Michigan going to finish 10th looking ass, who you picking today?
Hey, that's still the playoffs. Come on now. Yeah, I got the upset as well.
Oh, we're gonna be upset, all right, if they don't get it done. I know. I'm not used I don't know what to do behind a Michigan loss. It ain't happened in so long. All right. Next up, the Fighting Primes. The Prime Times playing in prime time. Them boys is back against Nebraska. And if you don't take Deion in the points, you're just giving away money. You can go ahead and get a head start on the mortgage next month. Take Fighting Primes in an upset over Nebraska in the cornfield. Tasha, who you got?
I'm going with the Buffs.
Mike, oh, you think you're going to gain a game on us with this? Look at him smiling.
I'm going to go with Nebraska.
Tommy Frazier ain't there.
So ain't, and neither is Ndamukong Suh.
Lawrence Phillips ain't there.
Sue's not playing for them?
They ain't got all them felons like they used to. Right. They ain't going to beat us.
Miami, Midwest Miami, they ain't there.
Right. Right. Parole you.
I got Mahomes XL going to get it done.
You know what? He does look like Mahomes.
He does.
He does. Why you bring him up, Mike? Now I want to cave on my pick. Like, they won a shootout. It was going to be a close game like last year. But you know what? Nebraska's quarterback cost him that game last year in Colorado with them damn fourth quarter turnovers. That was a good game too. But Prime is going to be. I
was just really impressed by everything but Colorado's defense. Hopefully they fix that. If they don't, Nebraska will beat them because their defense was slow. It was. They played a little better in the second half, like to Mike, what Mike alluded to last week. But you just got to get some pressure. All you need, if you're Colorado, Nebraska's not offensively going to do anything too crazy.
It's still Big Ten. Come on now.
That's true. I'm not going to, you see, Mike always know how to make me digress and go to the next game because I ain't going to argue with that. Big Ten rules. Let's go to the NFL. Them boys in the dog pound. Week 1. We got Jared Jones versus the Freak Nasties. I'm going with Cleveland in a close, tough game.
Who's in at quarterback at Cleveland?
Yo, boy. Mr. Massage Table. Right. Mr. Crafty Tug.
Oh, Lord. I'm actually going to pick the Cowboys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to go Cowboys, too.
No, I'm going Cowboys then.
No, you're not. No,
I'm going Cowboys then. No, I'm going Cowboys then. No, because
thank you, Mike. Flag on the flag.
No. Because every time I go against them two, I lose. You see this right here, right? That 0.
No, you said.
No, I'm going Cowboys. All right.
Stop being scared. Stop being scared. Say it how you said Cleveland. Go on and say it. The Doodoo Browns. Go ahead.
Myles Garrett. I just think that the defense is going. I think the offense, Dallas's offense is going to be a little shaky. Why you stuttering? You said what you said. Don't do that. Look, you said you can tell I'm lying because when I'm replying, stutter. I can't stand y'all. Y'all better be glad we got a bond over Michigan today because I hate y'all right now. Let's go. Tennessee versus Chicago.
Titans.
Titans.
Yep.
All right. Tasha done picked the Titans and the Cowboys, so I know she's just bracing me for a Michigan loss today. So because I can always lean on her bosom for picking them Titans in week 1.
What'd you say, rock of my soul?
Right, I'm gonna do that when you have a little snot on your shirt left when I done cried all the tears out. All right, Monday Night Football. The Bay's favorite son returns home. But will he return home with 2 good Achilles? That's the question. The Jets and the 49ers. I got the 49ers.
Doom, doom, yeah, area.
Hey, I got the Ricky Pearsalls.
Shouts out to Ricky Pearsall. Hope he's healing well.
My man went to go lift weights 48 hours after getting shot in the throat.
In the chest.
And he still didn't give up his Rolex. I think the 49ers might win the Super Bowl now. Mike, who you got?
I got the Jets.
See, that's where we're going to get our game back. We're going to get our lick back on that one. That's where we're going to get our lick back. All right. Michigan, Michael Hasso, who you shouting out this week?
I'm going to shout out, let's see, what day is it? I'm trying to make sure I got all the birthdays.
Right.
No, that's next week.
Good with birthdays.
I guess to let everyone know, doing a card show after this at 11:15 Central Time. Gonna have the Michigan-Texas game on in the background, so in case you need some Marvel cards, hit me up.
Hey, drop your link in the chat, man, so people who come on a little bit later, if they're out and about and they see it, where they can look at you. Are you gonna have like the place posted on your IG or something like that?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Make sure you drop that in there so people who want to support, everybody's out with their kids this time of morning, so we'll do that. Tasha, who you shouting out this week?
I want to shout out, and I don't want to seem cliche, but the victims of that horrendous shooting in Georgia. Keep the victims, the ones who died, and the ones who survived. Keep their families in prayer. Again, I am an advocate for gun ownership, but there still needs to be some sort of legislation about who can and cannot own a handgun, a AR-15, a shotgun, a rifle, or whatever it is. And shouts out to my boy, Corey Lee. His birthday is today, so we will be doing a little turn up in the Sioux tonight at his new house.
Well, make sure everybody got on their maize and blue because it's going to be a coronation and a celebration in this great nation when the double.
I told him, I said, if you don't have that game on that big screen, that Colorado game, I will drop off that bottle of after work that you love to drink when you come down here, and I will be going home.
Right, because I got to watch that one. That's on NBC.
I got to watch the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick before I give my shout out, y'all, can we wear Michigan gear to the state fair if Texas beat us? Because we're going to be asking for trouble.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm wearing I need to find a maize jumpsuit.
We're going to be asking for trouble, y'all. Like Tasha, don't be snatching wigs and fighting people. And Mike, you watch it.
And I may have on some black Air Force Ones.
Oh, you're gonna have on your Pittsburgh Steelers coach, your Spaceballs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have on my always bet on black ones.
Well, that's gonna get you 9 wins.
That's
gonna get you 9 wins with your betting on black looking ass.
I'm gonna ask Michael Myers, can I get that Carhartt suit in a maze?
I just want to know how he's so time efficient. How he can just flow walk you and still catch you in a damn IROC Z.
It's a knife to your.
I'm like, damn, this dude is efficient. Can I get to work like he does? All right. I want to give a shout out to all of the parents out there and grandparents out there this time of the year, this season, when not only do you have to work and provide for your family, but you got to go to band practice and soccer practice and baseball practice and football practice. You got to get them to and from. They need money for candy. They need money for the trip here. They go on to a trip there. Ain't nobody ask you how you doing or nothing. Daddy, I need this. Mama, I need that. I see y'all. I recognize y'all. Take a deep breath today. I'm sending y'all positive energy. Y'all are spending your only off time with your families and making sure they got everything that they need and still trying to refill your tank to get to work next week and do your job at a high level. So I'm giving all of y'all a shout out. I see y'all. I recognize y'all. I applaud y'all. That is not an easy job. And I want to conclude today by giving a shout out to the First Lady of Sports, Miss Tasha T. Sizzle. She did Gen X proud this week. DJ, drop that track. She did us proud this week. Gen X in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, for all you young ones calling us aunties and uncles and old heads and all of that, holler at us in 25 years and see if you can throw an outfit like that, okay?
Shouts out to that strategically placed scarf.
Right, man. Right? He said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said you put the sizzle in the tea.
But why did that fool Tiffany say you should have rolled all around in the sand? I would have liked to have seen
I was
that.
waiting for the
her?
See, Mike, as a man, she needs to understand that we like to see a little sand on the ass cheek. Just a little bit of sand. Just,
Tiffany said that.
like dip your chicken in a little bit of flour. We like a little bit of flour on the chicken before you where this beach at? Good job by you, Michigan Mike. Thank you for that. But we just letting y'all know that she's more than an athlete. Okay, all right.
Oh, wow,
So the shouts out to Gen X. Mike, can you let everybody know one more time where they can find you this afternoon if they're out and about?
I'll be on Whatnot tonight. The link is in the comments.
All right, make sure y'all follow that. Hey, Tasha, I'm gonna need this in English and in Spanish because it's go time. Mike, Tasha, say it real quick.
Vamos Azul.
Go blue.
What?
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
It's all about this right here.
That's nice. I like that.
I'm gonna be hanging this around my neck at HEB this afternoon after we beat them down Longhorns.
And
We'll see y'all.
Taking it twisted around your neck.
Spin it like a helicopter. You see us? You see us, Tasha? Can we see the spine one more time? Can we see the spine one more time? Because this is a Michigan Go Blue Saturday. Hey, hey, hey. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Whether we win or lose, we ain't out the playoffs yet. Y'all see that. Y'all see that. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Until then, peace. And go blue.